Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, Moana Pasifika travelling to Fiji to take on the FIJIAN Drua. What will be a very exciting Pacific Island clash, round number 1 of the competition. Now, the FIJIAN Drua, they come in as favourites for this contest. They have got some absolute superstars across their starting lineup. None bigger than Virimi Pakatava in that number 12 jersey. He's partnered with Samu Vodre, so that is going to be power for days here for the FIJIAN Drua. You look through at this Moana Pasifika side, and they have got a fair few talented players of their own. Miracle Whaialangi looking for phenomenal last year, and Samisi Tupo Taialoa making up a very dangerous loose forward trio. Of course, anyone does have a prediction, be sure to put it out there, but at this point in time, it seems like it is going to be the FIJIAN Drua who are expected to do better. Out of these two sides, we have got there in the chat, who cares who wins this game without Artie, says Kiwi Rob. I mean, if Moana did it without Artie, it would be thoroughly impressive, but there's still plenty of players across the lineup. He was a very influential part of this team, but he did not just make up Moana by himself. There was some tremendous work from those two men that I just mentioned, Miracle Whaialangi, Samisi Tupo Taialoa, in terms of what they were able to bring to the side. And between them in the last 5 games, they've scored about maybe 5 or so tries. So definitely 2 players to keep an eye on for. We've got Tosa Drua Tosa from Mr. Billy. Hi all, says Taiwan. Welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. We have got there, is this live commentary or is it live? So it is just the commentary. If you do want to watch it live, you do have to either pay for Sky Sports Pacific, Sky Sport here in New Zealand, Stan Sport in Australia. There are a few options, but not really any free-to-air options, unfortunately, for this contest. I will mention it's also a little bit glitchy at the moment for the coverage that they've got on Sky. I wonder whether or not that's a connection issue. But it was doing it throughout the start of the match as well. A few glitches here and there. So anyone who's watching on Sky, let me know if that is the same for yourself or whether it is just my Wi-Fi that needs a little bit of work. I should mention Nari Laumape. He is in that number 12 jersey for Moana Pasifika heading into this contest. He is a dangerous threat with ball in hand. I still want to see him in that All Blacks jersey. I don't know whether or not that is still going to happen for him, but certainly going to be able to make an impact for Moana throughout the season. Going for a FIJIAN Drua win. Hope they will be plenty of points in this game, says George. Good morning, Mr. Kiwi Sir, says Taiwan. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. And good morning. Where is Hamish? How's Hamish missing Hamish? I'm here. I'm ready to go for a big day of not just the not just the Super Rugby, the Six Nations as well. We are going to be covering, and alongside that, we've also got the Sevens coming every once in a while. We have got their morning. Hamish says, Daryl, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. I do see that you've changed your name as well by the looks of it. We have got there is your Sky Flaky. That answers that. Yep. Yeah, so it's a little bit glitchy at the moment. Hopefully by the time the game gets underway, they would have sorted out the connection on Sky. But yeah, currently it seems like both the commentary and also the coverage is a little bit 50-50. Is William Harville David Harville's brother? He is, yes. Although one of them does play for the All Blacks and one of them plays for Tonga in terms of international representation. And of course, one plays for the Crusaders, one for Moana here. I can't wait for the 7, says Mohadeen. And I gave your Instagram to my mum last night. Made the mistake and told her you are 30. She said you a little too young, says Taiwan. Well, at least you tried, I guess, for yourself, Tai. You tried to set your mum up for Valentine's Day with a random streamer from the internet, which was never going to work out, let's be honest. We got there, good morning, everything. Good luck, says Amelia there. And did you play cricket? I didn't. Our team has a bye this week, but my junior team played this morning, and it was a very close game, and in the end, they did lose on the second last ball. But one of our players got a hat trick, so I feel like even though they lost, everyone was absolutely buzzing from watching that take place. It was also one of the best times, or the best that we've done bowling-wise. So I think that was a massive improvement for the team. And hopefully, they bounce back next week. What time is Springboks women's first game? So their first match they are playing is at, I want to say it's about 10:20 New Zealand time. And that is going to be up against Brazil, but I'm not covering that game. The first game of the women's Springboks games that I'm covering, I believe, is at about 1:30 a.m. And battle of 12, Vakatawa and Laumape. Yeah, like the fact that this is a head-to-head that's happening in Super Rugby now, and I feel like it's one that some people probably aren't appreciating enough, but those two are just battering rams. Both playing 12, both up against each other in this game. Like that price alone would be worth going to the game to watch. And then you've got the rest of the talented players out there. Porepati Lokanamasi out on one wing, who was phenomenal in the 7 setup for the Fijians. You've got in that 4-pack, Miracle Faialangi, like I mentioned, he's looking like a real talent for the future. Solomon Alai Marlo, it's been doing phenomenal recently. We've got there, we regret the poor pitch and sound quality of this program. It's what they've just popped up on the screen from Sky Sport. So obviously they are also aware of the slight issues. What time is it there in New Zealand? Currently it's 4:30 p.m. At this point in time. And great to see you again, Hamish. I watched replay of the Southern game. Well done, Highlanders. Yeah, they did phenomenally in that game. And I mentioned about it at the time. They had to win that game. Because to be that close and then lose it would have been, I think, the make or break of their whole season. But they got over the line. If you want, my cousin is 24. She is pretty, I think, I don't mean it in a weird way, says Taiwan. You're really trying to set me up with one of your family members, aren't you, Ty? You're all based out of South Africa, aren't you? From what I know. Maybe it's just a way of getting me to go there and then I'll be able to watch some rugby live and in person. We have got there, can't see the times on search. Don't come up, says Mohadeen. It's 5:30 a.m. by me, says Mohadeen. So yeah, their first game, I believe, is at around 11:30 a.m. for you guys in South Africa. About 6 hours time. Yeah, somewhere around there. Fixtures and results /72/Nairobi. Says Kiwi Rob and 4:31 p.m. New Zealand time, says Amelia. But yeah, we are only sitting 3 minutes away from the start of this contest. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to get your predictions in for who's going to win this one. Any live stream leaks. Sadly, Super Rugby's a tough one to find without a paid subscription. Like, a lot of them do get taken down very early. Game of Thrones conversation says, I am nutty. And if the Fijian Drua number 13 tackles the number 8 for Moana, well, it'll be a long pronunciation. I assume you're saying, who you got number 8. So you're going Samisi Tupo Taialoa getting tackled by Tuidraki Samo Vordre in there. It's a little bit similar to Ratamaitavuki Nepkins and Whaiana Nuku yesterday. Some solid names throughout this competition, I do have to say. But the captain, Faialangi, I don't think he had a lot of captaincy opportunities last year. Where's South Africa women's playing? They are playing in Kenya. So the whole competition's taking place in Nairobi. And it sounds like it's sold out. That's hectic, says Taiwan. And there as well, they're just showing the changing shed of the Fijian Drua finds Leleawasa getting the opportunity to start in that number 9 jersey. Alongside Kimu Valetini as that 9 and 10 combination, but there's so many dangerous options on the outside in terms of potential try-scoring threats in this game. But almost ready to go. Our fixtures and results, 7-2 Nairobi. South Africa, put this in your website bar. So how many eligible players versus players on the bod? On the bod. The bod. I don't know what the bod is. Represented says, I am nutty. What's your prediction here, Mr. Kiwi Sir? I'm going Fijian Drua by, I think, about 15 or so, to be honest. But then Moana looked pretty decent on paper. Patrick Pellegrini is such an underrated part of this Moana Pasifika side. I really should have mentioned him by now. But for Pellegrini here, he can control this game if he manages to handle it just as he did last year, getting those passes right. So how many eligible players versus players on the board are represented? So what do you mean, like eligible for which teams? For Tonga, for Fiji, for Samoa? Who are you talking? Because I think it just depends. Because like Patrick Pellegrini, he's a Tongan international. Jonathan Tamatine, he's a Samoan international. You got Faialangi, he's a little bit of a wait-and-see situation, although he has represented Samoa in that 2023 Rugby World Cup. For a lot of the Fijians, they are either ex or current Fiji internationals. Native best team versus pick players like Argentine Higuares did. Native best team versus pick players. I still don't really get what you're saying. Because a lot of these guys, like I said, they are literally Fijian internationals across this Fijian side. And at the end of the day, you've got a squad for a reason. So you don't just play your best team every single week. You mix and match and you get it going. We have got there. So did you Brian Hamish because you got your score right last week? No, I got it right once. And I know that that's my only time I'm ever going to get a game of sevens completely correct. Is a Super Rugby more entertaining than URC? Depends on who you talk to and depends on the game. Is Pellegrini part Italian? I'm not sure what his background is. He might have an Italian mother or father, maybe, with a last name like Pellegrini. I know that there was a Pellegrini playing for Italy in the football, wasn't there? a little while ago. Why don't they send Sky Sport New Zealand over instead of Stan Sports? Says Kiwi Rob. No idea. What is Fijian Frun versus Fijian International Tima differences look like? I assume that's supposed to be Fijian Drua as that second word, right? So what does Fijian Drua versus Fiji International team differences look like? Well, you're missing a few internationals. They haven't got Nandradra. They haven't got Joshua Tuisova. But, like, it's still pretty handy. Anyone who does well for the Fijian Drua ends up with a big money deal overseas. Just look at Vinaya Habosi. Look at, I mean, you can honestly list quite a few. Celestino Ravatomanda, I believe, also got himself a big contract from what he was able to do for the Fijian Drua. So it is definitely, in a way, a feeder club, not just into international rugby, but a feeder club into the French sides that love themselves a good, solid, ball-running Fijian in the mix. Like, we see it so many times, and we'll continue to see it. And it's a little bit of an incentive for these Fijian Drua players to be able to perform here throughout the season because, like, the French sides are watching. I'll be back in a little bit. I have an IT project to work on, but I will 100% be back as soon as I can. Says Taiwan, so we will see it a little bit later on. As I'm watching even with a box, says Kiwi Rob. So I assume you're talking about the coverage in terms of the Sky connection. It seems like it's getting better as we get closer to the game, though. So I think maybe they're sorting it a little bit. Any live links, once again, very hard to find the game live. They will have the highlights up on the Sky Sport New Zealand Super Rugby, one of those two channels, I believe. But sadly, in terms of live links, you're probably going to get yourself a virus if you click on anything regarding this game. Outside of, you know, your normal Sky Sport Pacifics and Sky Sport and whatnot. Just showing Virumi Fakatawa. France debut in 2016 for that man. Total points for the French, he had 50. Hating that last year of school. There's so much work, Hamish. Like, it's not even funny. It hurts my brain, says Taiwan. Yeah, that last year can be hectic. But just think of it as it's your last opportunity to just really get to... See, that's the thing. I kind of miss doing assignments. And it's easy to say it now that I don't do them, right? And it does suck to do them at the time. But there's a little bit of something about them that's actually kind of fun. And you feel like you're accomplishing something. So I would say just, you know, you've got one more year. Give it absolutely everything you've got. Because there might be a day that you go, man, I wish I had an assignment due. And Hamish, what time is the Six Nations start? First game will be starting 2:55 a.m. New Zealand time. Exams are stressful. I agree. I hated exams. But assignments are all right. It's going to be kicked off now by Timo Valetini. And we are underway. Or Kimu Valetini, I should say, rather than with the T. The Fijian Drua. Kicked off to Moana Pasifika, who claim it inside of their 22. Fired back into the pocket from Jonathan Tamatina and kicked downfield from William Havili. Does get that one into touch. I'm off to... That's an interesting way of wording it, Jared. I don't think I've ever heard someone actually word that. Without fetch tier or without French 3-tier system, many Pacific players without a job, without New Zealand stealing them L, says I am nutty. But yeah, like I said, it's literally like it's a perfect feeder to get them into like the top 14. And there are so many players who have been able to thrive off having a good season for the Fijian Drua. Now, nice step there out wide. Currently, Moana Pasifika still in possession. And trying to prove my ex wrong. We're getting into uni. She's B-word, says Taiwan. And there's Emmanuel Pellegrini, who is a former Chilean footballer and current manager. Says George. Told to use it on the halfway line for Jonathan Tamatine. Shot clock still going at the moment, or clock on this game, but it is glitching once again. He's kicked it downfield. Or it is Kimu Valetini. Managed to claim it just outside of the 22 for the Fijian Drua. A little bit of pressure in the breakdown. Kitione Salawa. He was also a very dangerous player last year for the Fijian Drua. Did a lot of things right throughout the season. And also, I mean, the thing is, for a lot of these Fijian Drua loose forwards, because they are so physical, they're always going to have a decent amount of impact. Out there on the field, it's kicked downfield, finds the hands of Patrick Pellegrini, now 40 metres out from his line, sends the ball high, being chased by William Havili. Oh, and then it's just glitched way forward, and it's going to be a 50-22 for Moana Pasifika. It was kicked by Solomon Alaimalo by the looks of it. I'm going to ask you something. Do you got any free spots in your schedule this week? Not a massive amount, unfortunately. I think that the only slight spots we have over the weekend where I've got slight breaks are probably going to be used up with sleeping. But outside of that, she's a pretty hectic weekend once again. And then next week, straight back into work alongside getting everything ready for the next weekend. Do you think the Springboks women will win? I think they've got a decent chance. They come in relatively decent ranking in terms of some of the other sides they're up against. There are a few good teams, though, in the mix, but I think they'll do well. Moana Pasifika trying to get this rolling maul going. At the moment, the ball is in the hands of Sana Revi at the back. Doesn't seem like it's going forward too much, though, so they have been told to use it with Jonathan Tamatine. Across the right-hand side, here comes Vakatawa, the big run forward from the ex-international. Are you doing the game Wednesday? Which game's Wednesday? Is that the Springbok under 20, right? I'm back. It was a struggle. That was fast, Jared, so it must not have been that much of a struggle if you got it done that quickly. Now Miracle Whaialangi trying to fend off the defence back across to the left-hand side. I guess, says Corallo there. Is that like a guess that you're going to give us your score prediction for this one? That's going to be the penalty going the way of Moana Pasifika. This one's straight out in front of the post here. 3 minutes into the contest. About as easy of a three-pointer as you could ask for. How's it looking? At the moment, we're seeing a lot of possession for Moana Pasifika throughout the early stages of this game. Yes, Brother Hamish says Mohadeen. And I asked if you want to record a video, says Brandon. One's going to be kicked to the touch by Patrick Pellegrini. I can't believe they've turned down the 3 here for Moana Pasifika. Don't get me wrong. I like it a lot. And it's an aggressive tactic, which I think is a good idea up against a try-scoring machine side like the FIJIAN DRUA. Definitely when they're at home. But surprises me a little bit. Naughty, I finally got it, says Robert. Patrick Pellegrini is Tongan rugby player of Aussie-Tongan descent. He also has Italian and English descent, says George. But now looking for the rolling ball here with Sanarevi on the back of the rolling. As it stops rolling and he starts running around the side of the breakdown. That looks like Alan Craig going to have a bit of a crack there, only a couple metres short of the try line now. Clapping his hands there out wide. Samisi Tupo Taialoa wanted a Chris Apua. Dragged down just short. Looking for it now. It is Tupo Taialoa. He drops his head. He's over the line. He gets that ball grounded. And he scores the try for Moana Pasifika. And they will have the first try of the contest. Samisi Tupo Taialoa goes in for his try. Such a dangerous ball runner. I said it at the start of this one, and we will continue to say it throughout the season. He is just dangerous with the ball in hand. So powerful. He was almost held up by the FIJIAN DRUA. They actually did very well defensively to be able to stop him for a start, but he just kind of wiggled and managed to find his way down over the try line, initially dragged down short, then just kept on powering those legs and eventually wrestled over the top of Misaki Vote to be able to put that ball down. Did you buy your screen a bouquet of flowers for Valentine's Day, Hamish? I should have, shouldn't I? It will be feeling a little bit left out, I'm sure. I guess draw 37, Moana 28, full-time score. And is the crowd good there? Weather conditions? Weather conditions looks like a beautiful afternoon for this game. How's the weather? Is it wet? No, it is sun shining. Maybe it rained earlier on, but for now, the sun is out. Although, as we've learned with games in Fiji, sometimes you can have a beautiful sunny first half and an absolutely bucketing down second half. So it's hard to tell whether or not it will stay sunny throughout this whole game, but it's certainly a sunny start for Moana Pasifika in this contest as well. Are you busy Wednesday? It will depend a little bit on what time it's taking place and what time I'm starting work as well. But I would say if it's in South Africa that game's taking place, it's probably going to be a middle of the night game for us here. And Tana's men are well prepared and look fit out Fiji, says Shane. And who do you think will win? I did go the FIJIAN DRUA as my initial prediction. They've got a brilliant home record. But I will admit, Moana throughout the first 6.5 minutes have looked like the better side. But then maybe it's just going to be a slow build here for the FIJIAN DRUA. Hamish, did you buy your PC chocolates or flowers or a teddy bear? I did not, no. Oh, that one's going to be a not straight throw. Or pump fake in the throwing department. So a little stutter in terms of trying to throw it for Zaril Tongiatama. That's the last thing that the FIJIAN DRUA needed just as they were about to get themselves some possession. It's free on Rugby Pass, says I am nutty. I assume you're talking about the under-20s game, right? But now Patrick Pellegrini, that one's gone sideways and almost backwards from Pellegrini, but it's slapped back onto the side of the Fijian Drua. Again, get themselves some possession with Zarel Tongiatama. Back across to the left-hand side, Kima Valentini. Now step, oh wow, that's a hard chopping tackle on the knees of Vakatawa. And good afternoon, Kiwi lads. Still so disappointed from last night, says Josiah. Yeah, although, like, they've had times, the Crusaders, where they've lost early games in the season and they still go on to win the championship. I know this game is free on Rugby Pass. Is it actually? It's quite a surprise because I know that normally it is restricted depending on where you are in the world. But for us in New Zealand, I think it's just through Sky that you can watch it. And we have got there about who I think will be able to win this one. But yeah, initially I said Fijian Drua by 15, but I may have underestimated Moana going into this game. 1 second, we'll go like this. And like that as well. So currently Moana Pasifika are still underdogs even though they're winning 7-0. It's not in New Zealand, only on Sky. I think there'll be high scoring. It seems like it, but it's whether or not both sides slow down a little bit because currently they're going at 1,000 miles an hour and someone's probably going to get tired in the relatively near future. Nice attack and run though from Samisi Paya. 22 metres out from the line, Jonathan Tabatine. Back across to the left-hand side, Patrick Pellegrini, low pass to Tom Savage. That looked a little bit close to a forward pass. Referee says it was all right. And go the Drua go. Says it was Stitalai. Out Pellegrini. A little shuffle around the captain, Timo Mainavanua. How do I see the time of the game? Says Mohadin. I assume that it would be somewhere on maybe the under-20s website, maybe. Is where I would recommend trying to check for it. Now, low tackle made on Moana Pasifika, or maybe on their social media for the junior box, it may have something. Nope. Back across to the left-hand side. Still in a good position on the field at the moment. Here comes the run from Miracle Faialangi. I'm going for a Fijian Drua win, hopefully with plenty of points. Who's the ref? I recognise him, but I don't remember his name in this contest. Oh, short side here. That's a chance, and they're over again. Miracle Faialangi has scored the try. They've got 2 tries early at this stage for Moana Pasifika. This was not supposed to happen. I can tell you that right now. But they've put in the phases together. This is really good stuff from Moana. And the Fijian Drua just haven't had a chance to get anything going as of yet. Good start for Moana. Keep it up, Moana Pasifika. It's a phenomenal start. If they continue playing like this throughout the whole season, that'd be a real danger. Although we haven't seen them defend yet. That's probably the big factor in this contest. The fact that we've seen like everything on attack, but not a lot on defence at this point in time. Right, they've got 30 seconds to go for this kick, but 10 minutes in at the moment. And upset coming in. Massive. If they keep on going like this, it's going to be hard to catch them. This game is broadcast live on Rugby Pass. Some geo-blocking may be in place. Says I am nutty. Now Patrick Pellegrini sitting 1 from 1 so far. And that's a very good kick from Patrick Pellegrini. This is actually a bit insane, to be honest, how quickly and efficiently Moana are going through. When you beat the Blues and the Satyrs, then what is Fiji? No surprises here. Says Shane. And now they are considered as favourites. Just. So they needed 2 tries to be able to consider themselves as the likely to win in this contest. But the Fijian Drua, they are still only $2.05 underdogs. Fiji needs some cover. Says Moa Hunters. And Toso's Rua Toso. Yeah, that's the thing. The Drua are by no means out of this game. They just need some ball in hand. But currently, Moana are dominating the possession stat. Nicely taken by Liza Drua CC at the back. Running it back up to the halfway line. And there's obstruction there. Accidental. So it's a free kick now to Moana Pasifika. I think they're asking the question there. They're just wondering what they have to do to get back into this game. It looks like they've decided to tap and then kick downfield. It's 14, not 12. That is correct. I want to see the live, please. So it is available on Sky Sport. It is on Stan Sport. Sadly, there aren't really any free-to-air options other than maybe Rugby Pass, as I'm Nutty said, but it depends on where you are in the world as to whether or not you do have that option. Have you heard anything about the conspiracy theory of Razor joining Springboks camp after the rival tour? Seems like the talk of the town. I haven't seen too much about it. I think that at this stage, Razor, you know, he's got his 12-month period where he's not allowed to be, I think it's a head coach, but he's still allowed to join coaching groups. Maybe because Artie left, they are more determined to win the title since all the bookies and fans are writing them off. I think adding Nari Laumape, a former AB, and Pellegrini at 10 game control. Yeah, I still say it. I think Pellegrini's got some of the best game control out of any 10 in Super Rugby Pacific. And he's one of the most underrated players in terms of creating opportunities for his backs to be able to flourish, as well as those forwards. I mean, Tamatene's distribution, I think, over the last year or so, or maybe even 2 years, has come a massive long way. And they've just got those loose forwards. You know, the talk was Savia last year, but Miracle Faialangi was scoring tries almost each and every week. You had Samisi Tupo Taialoa, who was put into the conversation as a potential bolter for the All Blacks if he was going to be an eligible option and if he chose to go for the New Zealand option. But, like, they've got talent. They just weren't able to quite use it effectively at times throughout last year, but they certainly are using it effectively throughout the first 14. There's a penalty, though, to the FIJIAN DRUA in the breakdown. Ronan O'Gara hasn't proven himself like Razor. Razor to take French team says, I am nutty. And Toso Drua Toso. And do you think Springboks will win against Georgia? They normally do, but at the same time, I don't know who's in the squad. So it's very hard to judge. And now, ready to kick this one towards the touchline for the FIJIAN DRUA. We're already 14 minutes through this game. So it is absolutely flying by. That one's going to be put into touch. It's a good attacking opportunity for the FIJIAN DRUA. I will mention we've got another game just around the corner that is taking place too, ladies and gents. That is going to be the Chiefs versus the Blues. That one taking place at Eden Park. A massive opening fixture for the two sides. Going off to the right. Big attack and run from Ilia Whanakaivata. Oh, big knock on there from the Drua though. And it gives the ball back to Moana at scrum time. He looked very happy. I mean, there's a huge amount of rugby on today. There is not a lot to not be happy about. We've got these 2 games of Super Rugby that we're doing. Then we're into some 7s. We've got the Six Nations coming up later on tonight. Scotland versus England is going to be the main event of that comp. At least for this round anyway. I feel like there's a couple more games coming up that some would regard as a bit bigger. We have got there. Imagine if Artie was playing this season too. Would be a brilliant team. Plug your channel on their chat. But didn't you say the other day that they don't have the option of, like, chatting on Rugby Pass? Wasn't that what you said the other day? Currently 15 minutes passed in this match. And they're being told to use it now. Bully, everyone says, Josefa, welcome in. Where's Artie? He is in Japan at the moment on a sabbatical. That's a great kick downfield and a 50-22 for Moana Pasifika. They are currently 14-0 up at this point in time on the YouTube version they're doing. I wonder if it is here in New Zealand, because I thought you were talking about Rugby Pass TV, but if it's on like Rugby Pass, maybe it would be on YouTube for us. Rugby Pass, click on that. Yeah, it says that they're live, but it doesn't have it as an actual option of watching here in New Zealand. I wonder if it's an option in Fiji. How many do they have watching on their I Am Nutty? Out of curiosity. I can't actually see it because they don't have it here. Now Miracle Faialangi, he's over again. The loose forwards are absolutely dominating in this game for Moana Pasifika. They have 3 tries in 16 minutes. Miracle Faialangi and Samisi Tupo Taialoa. And why not just throw on Samisi Pai? He's had a couple runs too. Hamish, I have a question for you. What is that question, Pads? Who's in possession? How far are they from the opposition line? Well, Josiah, they've just run in another try here, which is absolutely huge for Moana Pasifika and Miracle Faialangi. Do you think the Chiefs will win? They're favourites for that game, but I actually don't understand why. Like, and I know that sounds bad, and they do actually still have a very good chance of being able to win. But looking at the players that they're missing, I feel like they're taking more of a hit to their lineup than the Blues are in the contest and the games at Eden Park. So I don't know how they can be like the favourites that they are for that game, if that makes sense. Like, I think that the Blues would have a decent shot of going over for that one. That one's gone over, though. 120, oh, sorry, not 125. 21 points to nil. And Drua forgot to come out of the shed, says all in the game. Will the New Nations Rugby Cup be a yearly thing? It sounds like it, except for maybe the year of the Rugby World Cup. And Kabeti says, I'm nutty. And keep it going. Moana says, Josiah and Fiji and Drua forgot to come out of the sheds. Yeah, they're 21-0 down after 18 minutes. I just have to reiterate, Fiji and Drua were the favourites going into this game. By now, the same margin that Moana are favourites heading forward in this contest. Kia ora, Hamish. Says Vinny, welcome in. And maybe it could be 121. I hope it's not. I hope that some stage soon we see the Drua fire up. But Moana currently are sitting with a bonus point in this game for being 3 or more tries ahead of their opposition. Now, a lot can change throughout the next little while, of course. Now, bounce pass attempted. Wakatawa picks it up. Now trying to step his way through the middle of the field. They are yet to get any sort of momentum rolling at this point in time for the Fijian Drua. Can't remember the last time Moana played 80 minutes though. I hope Fiji make it interesting. Yeah, and to be fair, Moana had so many games last year where they'd have a very strong first half and then let it slip in the second, or when they'd have a poor first half and let it absolutely go in the second half. So it was broadcast for free. But my VPN base saying US says, I'm nutty and watch your current Super Rugby playoff prediction. Says, by the way, Padsa, I'm thinking we're probably going to see at least 3 New Zealand sides, if not 4. Because just the way that it works out with the Aussie sides playing each other enough means that there's a good chance that one of them ends up in the running. There is an advantage now in favour of the Fijian Drua. 9 phases in at the moment. Definitely what they need at this point in time. Just a little bit of possession. There's Porepate Loganamasi, almost goes through a gap. Gives it off to Eliza Drua. Sisi driven backwards. Looks like maybe a bit of an injury here for Tito Tuipulotu, but slow. Getting back up to his feet. Hey says, what's up guys? Welcome in. Now off to the right hand side. Some pumping of the legs from Manasa Mateeli. Ball still there for the Fijian Drua. They are still under penalty advantage. Fiji the comeback kings, don't worry. Says Mr. Billy. Yeah, they've certainly left themselves a big comeback that has to take place. Right, advantage now over. They have made about those 30 metres. Fijian Drua now moving away to the left-hand side. Ilia Thanakai Vata. And no defend Moana, says Josiah. And there too, Kemu Valetini. Short little pop pass up. There's another knock on here. Picked up by Samisi Tupo Taieloa. Going away to the left-hand side. Drop ball once more. It's a little bit of a double knock-on fest at the moment, but it is the hands of the Fijian Drua on the ball. Going off to the right. Out to Eliza Drua. Sisi passes to Sanarevi, who just threw that ball away. They'll go back for the original scrum. No defence from Moana, says Josiah. You see, that's the thing. They got up to 21-0 without hardly having to make a tackle. Right, they're going to have a 3-minute water break now, which is a good idea. It's advertised on the Rugby Pass app even. Says, I am nutty. I really want the Hurricanes and Moana fly high this season, says Josiah. And must be humid, slippery ball. A little bit slippery out there by the looks of it. And once again, you never know what the Fijian weather's going to do. It is sunny at the moment, but it could be absolutely pouring down with rain in the second half. Max Jorgensen was on fire versus the Reds. Yeah, the whole Waratahs team, a majority of those guys. Amata Cero did well in the 4-pack. We saw some brilliant work from Lawson Creighton under the high ball too. But Jorgensen was just having fun out there, scoring tries all over the place. And Tosa Drua Toso says Atinish there. But now they have got that drinks break of around 3 minutes just because of the heat that they are dealing with out there on the field. And all the way Moana, says Skyfar, in there too. And I guess the question is, ladies and gents, I want to know, do you guys think the Fijian Drua can come back from this? 21-0 down. Can they get back into this contest and somehow find a victory, or is it too little too late, even though we're only a quarter of the way through the match? Is it 9 p.m. for you, Hamish? What did you have for supper? It is currently 5 p.m. here in New Zealand, so a little bit earlier on. We see there are only 5 15 tackles made by Moana Pasifika, missing 5 of them. Whereas the Fijian Drua, I believe they made about 40 tackles. I would beat you in Rugby 25. I think you would. I haven't played the game in probably about 9 months, or since we did that Hurricanes career mode. It's very difficult, that game. Or at least I found it difficult. Maybe they've patched it by now, but last time I played it was a very broken game. You would expect a comeback by the Drua, says George. And Murray has said yes in there as well. 21 minutes through for this game in Latoka. I specified I was saying I'm based US based on VPN. Says I am nutty. Yeah, no, but Jasmine just pretty much said that. Pretty much what you said, she said in a different way in terms of like how in New Zealand we don't have that option. And Royal Miss Munson, Ikanaveri, says Mr. Billy there. Yeah, see, those are a couple big players, although Ikanaveri's gone overseas, hasn't he? And then I'm not sure about Caleb Muntz, whether or not he is injured or anything along those lines, as long as the lead is not a huge one. Says George. Now finds Leliawasa. And ready to pop this ball in. You have the option in New Zealand, you just need a VPN, says I'm nutty. Although it depends on what VPN you use, because some of them don't work in terms of overseas options. And I know that Pure VPN doesn't, whereas NordVPN does. So, like, you need a specific VPN, one that does have the ability of accessing the overseas stuff. Now passing across Eliza Drua Sisi. Oh, nice step there from Ponepati Loganamasi. On into the middle of the field for Ilia Whanakaivata. Hot time score at 12 points to 26. Moana keep the lead. And Drua shows signs of the comeback, says Josiah. And Moana should be trying to score 100 points. This game shut this game down. Get Fiji pinned back in their own half, says Shane. As long as the lead's not a huge one. You still have to pay for VPNs. That is true. So it's not really a free option, is it? When you have to buy your VPN. Now, going across to the left-hand side, Punepate Loganamasi goes to Eliza Drua Sisi, kicking it in behind, chasing after it. It's actually, oh no, that was the big man trying to grab it, and he's actually managed it as well. Soana Silasila did not win the foot race, but he somehow, that was a big clean out. He won the battle for the ball. What are you doing for Valentine's Day? Streaming for about 12 hours. Going off to the right-hand side, another step there from the Fijian Drua. They break through, and it's Tuedraki Samu Vodre who manages to get over, and they break the drought for the Fijians, and they get themselves the try. And halftime score of 12-26. That is more likely now that we have seen that first try for the Fijian Drua, starting to get back in the swing of things. And while Moana is doing good, says Bingo. Yeah, they started this game with a hiss and a roar. And the thing is, though, once again, their defence hasn't looked great. Which sounds critical when they've scored 21 points. Their attacks looks phenomenal. But their defence, they were missing around 25% of their tackles. And you're always going to leave a few gaps if you're missing those ones. Morning, Hamish. Have a good day. My friend, looking forward to the day of rugby and cricket. Please like and subscribe if you're following the Kiwi Lads commentary. Says Josh there, New Zealand's rising star and young sensation Sam Ruth. Is in the biggest race of his career tonight, the Miracle Mile. All the big guns are there, including Hocker, the Olympic gold medalist from the USA. Says bad to the bone there. Kick has gone over, and that is going to make the score 21 points to 7 now between these two sides after the 24 minutes or so. Let's go Drua, says Mr. Billy. Italy to win or not. They shouldn't, but you just never know with the Italians. But Tuedraki Samosoma Vodre, the man who does score. So this is quite interesting. Fiji and Drua, they are scoring with their backs, whereas Moana Pasifika, they are scoring with their forwards. Do you think Ireland will lose by 30? Says Mohadin. They shouldn't. If they were to lose, it would be less than 10, I would think. Prediction Wales by 70-plus loss. Italy won't beat Ireland, says Shane. Now, this one's available inside of the 22. Finds Lelawasa. Let's kick this one downfield. It does go into touch. Decent touch behind it too. It was actually inside of his own 22, probably made about, I'd say 20, 25 metres. What's wrong with Wales Rugby? They sadly just don't have the depth at the moment. Like, there's a lot of young players in that side. And I think they need a few years to really find their rhythm. Of course, there's the stuff behind the scenes going on, which isn't ideal, but they just don't have that same depth as some of the other teams. The only Six Nations game that counts now is France versus England. I'm sure that some of the other games, if you're just looking at the title contenders maybe, but I feel like the other games, though, are still intriguing. For Scotland, their game at Murrayfield, they've won 4 of the last 5 up against the English, so they won't think of it as just a casual game that has to take place to eventually crown a champion of the Six Nations. They will want to really fire up for that contest. You see Ireland versus England as well. That's always a cracker of a contest. Patrick Pellegrini, after the penalty is won, they have kicked that one into touch. About 15 metres out from the line now, it is going to be the chance for the line out. So they're just playing the arm of Tom Savage. This is what Drua need to give us the confidence to get a comeback, says George. Now line out throw again. Sanarevi. Oh, that's not very straight at all. But, see, the Fijian Drua didn't throw up a player. And in that scenario, when you see it's that wonky, it's almost worth just half by fake lifting someone. Because then that way you get yourself the free kick. Because they were always going to be able to see that it was wonky in the throw. Now moving forward. Going back across to the right-hand side. Now Whaialangi. Back across to the right once more. Alan Craig keeps the body position low. 5 metres from the line. Now up back across. 3 minutes left. The first half. Jonathan Tamatino. Oh, sorry, not 3 minutes left. 3 minutes till we reach 30 minutes in this contest. Still plenty of time remaining, but they can get themselves that bonus point back. Now, another penalty advantage. Chris Apua. Okay, he's fallen over the line. It's counted as a knock-on here. Swire shipping. Make sure we're watching same game. Says I am nutty. Swire shipping. What's Swire shipping? Is that like the kit on the Fijians? I think it's their sponsor. They have got it there. Do you think the Brumbies will win against the Force? I don't know. That game's been considered very close in terms of the betting odds. But I would have thought that the Brumbies would have a really good shot of winning it. But I'm not too sure. Just because, at the end of the day, the Waratahs, they were slight favourites, but they went on to win by a big margin. So very hard to tell. But should be a good game anyway. We aren't actually going to be covering that one on the channel, fun fact. We have instead got Kenya versus Canada in the sevens beforehand, and then a nice little couple-hour break before getting into the sevens and whatnot. So without website, etc., it's free to air. Says I am nutty. So without website, etc., it's free to air. If you're in the right location, yes. Frank Lamani. You would have started him, not bench, says Shane. Yeah, I think it's just getting Fines Liliawasa some decent game time, though. Maybe is the reasoning behind it. And to be fair, Fijian Drua on attack haven't looked too bad. They just haven't had much of the attacking chances in the earlier stages. Now ready to put this ball in again here for Jonathan Tamatine, 5 metres out from the line. Now moving forward. If I mention YouTube channel, is it visible? Says I'm nutty. Well, once again, you're just not going to give it up, are you? So pretty much, if you're in a location where the game can be watched for free, it will be there. If you're in a location that already has a broadcaster, it won't be there. It's because, Rugby Pass, I can search now on YouTube. It's got that it's live, but I can't actually watch the live. Because if I click on it, it says not available in your country. But it's the same as the website. Morning image. This is a shark. I just woke up and this is the school. Says Kyle. This is a shark. I just woke up and this is the school. I have no idea what you mean, Kyle, but good morning. You are doing well. Currently 30 minutes through this contest. 21 points to 7. And it's going to be a free kick now. Quick tap taken by Jonathan Tamatine. Now picking. Oh no, they've dropped it just short of the try line there. Oh, hang on. Hang on. There might have been an offside here, which stopped the from Moana Pasifika from scoring. Okay. A call that a flanker was offside. Number 6, Misaki Vothi. You're offside. Never got back onside, and it's a yellow card for Misaki Vothi now. That number 6 jersey. It's going to be empty for the next 10 minutes as the Fijian Drua will be playing with one less man on the field. Okay, quick tap rule, officially rubbish. Says Air Congo. Quick tap rule, rubbish? What part of it, Air Congo? So they are about to take that quick tap by the looks of it. Or are they going scrum? It looks like maybe a scrum is what they're going to be looking at. A good channel is improving viewership. Says I am nutty. Or it's just more people have found it. I got the rugby pass on the US. Says Robert there. Showing the beautiful scenery in the background. Now ready to feed this ball in for the scrum. Moana Pasifika, they are in a dominant position on this field. Only 5 metres or so out. It'll be a very good chance of being able to get something moving forward. Jonathan Tamatine about to feed the ball in. Right, it's fed in. It's there for Tamatine. Looks like they're going to be going away. Off to the right. Now, big wide cut-out pass and an easy run-in for Tavita Offa. We have got there, yes, I'm US VPN based. He didn't ask I'm nutty. He was saying what he's done. We have got there go the drawer. With you all the way, says Annie. Yeah, another try there. Tavita Offa going away to the right-hand side. The wing was wide open, and all he had to do was run that one in for Moana to get their 4th try of the contest. So yet again, they get themselves back in a position with the bonus point. Are your broadcasters behind us? Well, thanks for not spoiling it. But now it's going to be a chance at converting for the additional 2. 7.5 minutes still left in the first half. This could be an opportunity for Moana to work their way towards a 50. Now, I actually mentioned that Waratahs Reds game. How I felt like after that one, no one was going to be able to overtake the Tars from their big victory over the Reds. But it seems like Moana are really trying to push, potentially sit number 1. What happened in the cricket yesterday? Which game we talking? Australia, Zimbabwe, was it? That you're mentioning, but that one's going to go over. So makes the score 28 points to 7. The moment we do see Patrick Pellegrini, he is sitting 4 from 4 off of the kicking tee. And yeah, again, the Fijian Drua just stuck without someone out there ready to defend it. They were asking for a forward pass at the end, probably optimistically. Trying to find it out. Yeah, I won't spoil it. Says Robert there. And Australia, Zimbabwe. Yeah, Zimbabwe ended up winning that contest up against the Aussies. We have there someone from the US who's going live on his own YouTube through Rugby Pass. Says Inoki. Yeah, I guess it's probably a bit of a grey area, isn't it? But theoretically, if it's being streamed on YouTube, he's probably able to show some of it as long as it counts as fair use. It's always a risky one, though, because you can get yourself taken straight down. Surprised Pellegrini hasn't been poached by a European club. He's quality. I think he will be soon. Because anyone who's watched this guy for Moana Pasifika for the last, even just last season, he could get good money overseas. But I think it's been slightly fortunate that they haven't been looking for him. It's legal who has broadcast rights, says I am nutty. And Hamish, it is so hot here in Latoka. That is probably why they had that little water break of 3 minutes at around the 20-minute mark. Does look like it's scorching at the moment out there. Nicely thrown in by the Fijian Drua. Looking to get an attack going before the end of this first half. Just haven't had a lot of go forward, though. Finds Liliawasa. Goes back across to Kimi Valentini. Decides to put it in behind. Taken by William Harvili. And it goes into touch. Who do you support, says Rice? I was just hoping for a good, close game. At the moment, we haven't really got that, to be fair. But, yeah, I don't actually have a Super Rugby team per se. I just enjoy watching the whole competition as a whole. Looks like a couple changes are about to be made here for Moana Pasifika. That's an interesting choice. Tito Tuipilotu and Chris Apua are both taken off 35 minutes into this game. Maybe my prediction was right, Hamish. I said it would be 26 points to 12. Moana in front making a little comeback. Says Josiah, there's still potential for the FIJIAN DRUA to get themselves maybe one more before the halftime break. Now Tongiatama throws it in. It is claimed by the FIJIAN DRUA, Kimu Valetini. A lot of numbers to his right, but instead decides to run it himself. How's Lamape doing? He's hardly touched the ball, if I'm honest with you, or at least he hasn't touched it too much from what I've seen. Anyone else a bit concerned about kick taps from scrum? Can't really defend it. And the scrum calls are so poor. Fiji didn't get a penalty. They got punished in the reset. Says here Congo. So about kick taps from scrum. I think it's one of those tricky ones to get back onside in time, isn't it? But then what you're supposed to do is theoretically have someone else back ready for it. But yeah, you can be very speedy if you're the attacking side and get it going straight away. They've also changed the laws a little bit, that there's more free kicks now because of accidental offsides. You now get yourself a free kick rather than a scrum, which is one rule that I actually quite like, that side of things. I'm 40 metres out at the moment here for the FIJIAN DRUA in possession. Finds Lilia Wasa asking for the penalty. Referee says no. Now Ilia Whanakoivata. Hike from Jacob, welcome in. Finds Lilia Wasa going back across to the left-hand side. Ball to Manasa Mateel. He tries to sit down Nari Lamape, who finishes off the tackle. Finds Lilia Wasa. Back to Whanakoivata. 10 phases in a row for the FIJIAN DRUA. So once again, a little bit of possession goes their way. And they start to put phases together relatively nicely. There is a penalty here for the FIJIAN DRUA. What are your predictions for Six Nations games tomorrow? I'm going Ireland to win, England to maybe sneak it, and then France to win. Now Kimu Valetini, he's going to be kicking this one towards the corner. 3 minutes still remaining in this first half. And we have got them about maybe your prediction being right. Yeah, it's not looking a mile away. Monster Clash in a couple of hours' time. Chiefs versus the Blues at Eden Park, going to be a cracker. You're doing the commentary. We certainly are. We are going to be here for that matchup. I've got about 20 minutes build up for that game as well, just because of everything that has happened in this first round, as well as just a little bit more info about the future games. That Crusaders versus Highlanders game, we had 15 minutes build up, and it was nowhere near enough. But now that one's going to be thrown over the top. Claimed again by Moana Pasifika. Any prediction for the EU Second Division? I have no idea who's playing, and I have no idea who's good in it. But now that one's going to be kicked towards the sideline. My prediction is your knee, says Knife. Now, another line out here for the FIJIAN DRUA. They've lost a lot of meterage in the process, though. About 100 seconds remaining. Masaki Vothi. Still sitting there with an opportunity to get something going. He makes his way back out onto the field. Finds Lilia Wasa sitting 40 metres out from the try line. Nice step from Manasa Mataeli. He almost manages to sneak his way through. Now, left-hand side again. We have got there. Why are you giving points, Hamish? Why am I giving points? Is it like on the scoreboard? Because they've been scoring quite a few points in this game, Moana Pasifika. And isn't it 7:28? It certainly is. After 39 minutes in this matchup, finds Lilia Wasa going back across to the right. Thought about the inside pass there for the FIJIAN DRUA. Now Lilia Wasa goes back across to Asoa Nasilasila, sitting 30 metres out from the line. Oh, that was good hands from the big man, Timo Mainavanua. That's going to be a knock on the outside, though, for the FIJIAN DRUA. Chance here for a second try. And it's gone. What a beautiful pass that is to Kitiona Salawa. They just want to check this to make sure that it wasn't forward. But it might just be another try for the FIJIAN DRUA here. Massive win for the Highlanders last night against the Crusaders. Chiefs versus Blues tonight, the game. I'm looking forward to... I'm going to the Chiefs versus Crusaders at FMG Stadium in Hamilton. So here's Jacob there. Surely one try from the boys. Says Josiah, but it might be the second try of the contest for the FIJIAN Drua. It was Varimi Pakatawa going for the corner. And then just a pop pass on the inside to Kitione Salawa over the top with the offload. I reckon Fiji will make a comeback. Says Knive there. And good day, my dear friend Hamish. Hello from Kazakhstan again, says Jonathan. Now ready to line this kick up. Kim Valentini. He is currently sitting 1 from 1 in terms of the standings. Oh, he's really shanked that one away to the side, so that's definitely not going over. But I believe that should be half-time in this contest. We're currently 40 minutes, 30 seconds, but maybe we've still got time for one more kickoff. The actual shot clock might be slightly wrong due to that break that they did have earlier on. What do you know what that means, says Josiah? It's because I've been called it many times. Throughout my YouTube career, I've been sworn at in about probably 20 different languages, so you kind of learn the bad words and what they mean. 41 minutes through, and it does look like we've still got time for one last kickoff of the first half. Told to kick this one now for Patrick Pellegrini. Let's get us back underway. The Fijian Drua may look to just boot this ball out. In fact, no, they're going to look to have one last attacking play before the halftime break. Eliza Drua Sisi. Let's hit it up. Finds a Liliawasa. Going to be quite a tricky position to try and get out of here. And it does look like now they're looking at a kick back. And, okay, interesting choice. Kick downfield. Nicely taken by Moana Pasifika. I have no idea what's going on with Fiji and Drua here, with the exception maybe that this might not actually be halftime as of yet. As it's 28 or 26-12. It's 28-12 at the moment. Interesting halfway, 28-12. And England-France versus England. Any country to get a Grand Slam in your opinion, says I am nutty. I think France have the best chance in terms of the draw, but England have the potential if they do manage to get themselves the win over Scotland. I think Scotland's the hardest game up until the English. Right, that one's gone in touch, and we are still going in this first half, so obviously the clock is very wrong. It's currently 42 minutes in the red, and we've still got a little bit more time remaining. Okay, there is the siren now sounding. So yeah, about 2 minutes and a half ahead there. Sky One. Was there any matches of Six Nations yesterday or last night? Nope. So there are 2 games tonight or this afternoon for you in South Africa, and then also 1 game the day after, which is going to be Wales versus France. Looks like Moana, they will just boot this ball into touch. It's half time. This contest, 40 minutes down and 12 points to 28. In favour of Moana Pasifika, the side that were underdogs. If you can't swear in English, scared to get smacked by your mum where you still live, says Shane. As Six Nations under 20 was played, says I am nutty, although he was referring to the main Six Nations comp rather than the under 20s. But half time, a lot of umbrellas out in the stands, not because of the rain, but because of more so the heat they are dealing with currently in Lautoka. Have you spoken about potato salad? I had some potato salad, says Kyle. It's going to be a long night, Super Rugby Sevens World Series, Six Nations and Cricket World Cup, says Bad to the Bone. Yeah, I think we're going right through to about maybe 7:40 a.m. tomorrow morning. First half summary, says Mr. Billy. Moana Pasifika came out absolutely firing. Early drive from Sinisi Tupo Taialoa, followed up by one from Miracle Whaialangi. Then from there we saw the Fijian Drua start to get a little bit more possession, but not before we saw a second try for Miracle Whaialangi in this game. And then from there, we saw Moana get themselves one. And then after that, slowly a bit of back and forth. Fiji and Drua, they did score right at the end of the first half, but then also Moana had that try before that of Tavita Offa. And g'day, good score, Cersei's Cup, welcome in. And how do you feel about Ireland's downfall? Six Nations this year. They lost their first game up against the side that are expected to win it. So I don't think it's the complete end of the world yet. But I can tell you right now, the social media world's acting like it is. But, you know, they weren't the only side to have a bad game throughout that first round. And I'd assume that they will bounce back. And that's the thing. If they beat Italy by a whole heap of points, which I'm not saying they will, I'm not saying they won't either. If they beat Italy, let's say by 30, then everyone goes, oh yeah, but it was Italy. You were supposed to win by that. Even though all throughout the week everyone's saying, oh, is there an upset on the card? So I think it just depends on what narrative you're trying to write. Depends on how you feel about the start of Ireland's Six Nations campaign. Now, Arya says, oh, but I'm doing all right. Excited for the amount of rugby that we've got coming up. Can we all agree the Super Rugby is more entertaining to watch than the URC? Says, can't. I think it depends on who you talk to and which games you're watching. But I like both of them. They're different in good ways, I find. It's like similar to the top 14. Now, that's different to the two competitions again. And same with Premiership, a little bit different in that regard. Fiji are still on holiday. Disappointing come on Fiji, says Moa Hunters. You see, as shaky as they were on defence, they still managed to score 2 tries throughout the competition somehow. Not forgetting the Rugby League World Cup. Yeah, that is coming on a little bit later on in the year. We are going to be covering that one on the channel too. Ireland were never good, not going to lie, says Josiah. I mean, their winning streak said otherwise, didn't it? But, yeah, it just depends on, I guess, who you go for and where your bias lies. In terms of, like, it's very easy to try and discredit what they did, but they had a dream run for quite some time, the Irish. The only downside for them was it just came at the wrong time in terms of the World Cup calendar window type of thing, or the schedule. Are you on the Super Rugby Blues versus Chiefs today? We certainly are. That'll be the next one that we are going with. So if it stops URC level, URC low level stuff, says Shane. 2018, 2019 Welsh. The tops, not the squirts. Says, I am nutty. And Shatana be All Blacks coach. Maybe that was a name that was thrown around, although they have already pretty much said that they're giving it to Jamie Joseph. And it's expected to be announced next week that he is going to be the coach. So it's a little bit of a shame for the Highlanders because they've won their first game, but I believe if Jamie Joseph becomes All Blacks coach, he will stand down from his coaching role with the Highlanders. So that kind of gets them in a little bit of a tricky situation. The Rugby League World Cup is in October. Oh, and the Wars are playing now too. They are. They have got a pre-season up against the Manly Sea Eagles. Draw impact players are going to have to up the ante. You know what I mean? They've got some pretty handy players making their way off of the bench. So are Tuai, Samu Tuake, Joe Tamani, Frank Lamani, all in there. They are just showing the background. In Fiji, it is quite the afternoon for a game of rugby. Greatest nation in rugby union of all time is the All Blacks, even though the All Blacks haven't won the most World Cups. It is a bad situation right now. What they have accomplished is sensational, says Josiah. I still feel like they should host a Sevens event in Fiji at some stage. I think they've done an Oceania Sevens there, but in terms of the World Sevens circuit, it would be absolutely incredible to see Fiji host one of those tournaments. And the thing is, because we're not seeing sellout tournaments anymore, like in terms of numbers wise, it's probably not that that would cause them to not go there. And we have got there, we're at Jono Gibbs' list. Says, I am nutty. And go the draw. Yeah, the thing is, they could have been a lot lower in terms of the points in this game. So I'd say they'll probably be relatively happy with how they sit at the moment. Yes, they're down by 16. But again, it could have been much worse. If they start firing in the second half, they can definitely get something going. So, you know, we'll wait and see. But they've got potential, is what I will say. But it will take a lot of effort in the second half to be able to get it going. 1 second, we'll go like that. There we go. Johnny Gibbs for New Zealand. I assume that's coach potential. No, they pretty much all but confirmed that it's Jamie Joseph. They did it earlier today. They said, like, it's pretty much all of the news is Jamie Joseph is going to end up with that job. We have there. Let's go to the draw. Says Kenny Samiri. Go eat Joshua Tuisova. Says Knife. That man is a big solid unit. So I don't think I'd be able to consume a player of that size, or any player for that matter, because that is cannibalism. It's just showing the tries that we have seen so far throughout this game. Tavita Offa, he is the lone scorer in terms of the wingers. I assume that's coaches. You're having a shocker with your typing today, I'm Nutty. I don't think I've ever seen you struggle so much typing. Let's go to the draw. And we have got there as well about going for the draw earlier on. So a lot of people still back in the draw to be able to come back in the second half and get themselves the victory. So do let me know, yes or no, can the draw come back and win this game here? Let me know what you think. But looking through at what is to come for these two sides, the Waratahs up against the FIJIAN Drua. That is the game taking place next week, followed by the game up against the Hurricanes for this Drua side. Hurricanes versus Moana Pasifika. That is the 7:05 p.m. kickoff next weekend. And then the weekend after, they also do play on Friday at that same time, and that is up against the Western Force. I'll be honest, if they play like they have here, Moana Pasifika, in terms of dominating some of the possession, their defence, like I said, is probably their weakest part of their game out there on the park at the moment. But if they can stop sides from getting that ball too often, it'd probably be going not too badly. It's interesting in the stats department because the FIJIAN Drua and Moana have both beaten 13 defenders each, but more line breaks for the FIJIAN Drua. It is often the case when they are playing out there on the field. And we have got there. Oh, hi, Hamish. Good to see you. Going to be a busy year for you. You stay hydrated. Or year for you. Stay hydrated, says Laurie. Yeah, we got plenty more water to come. Which is great news because we got plenty more streams coming up later on as well. We've got the Super Rugby game just around the corner between the Blues and the Chiefs. That one's starting up in only about 2 hours, or an hour and a half's time for that contest. How do you feel about Highlanders winning yesterday? A massive one for them. And it makes the competition interesting early on because now it's that whole situation of the Crusaders. They have to try and bounce back because they are expected to do well. But at the same time, the Highlanders, they have got themselves a massive win, but now they might be losing their coach. So then that makes things a little bit more intriguing as season wears on too. Stream tomorrow morning, says Kyle. So we have got, in terms of the morning streams, because, tomorrow morning South African time, that would be, wouldn't it? So tomorrow morning South African time, we've got some sevens, and then in the afternoon there's the Wales versus France game. Will be the ones tomorrow South African time. But we've still got plenty more before that. A few games of sevens, including Canada versus Kenya, which I believe is happening straight after the Super Rugby Pacific game, as long as it runs relatively smoothly. Can you say happy birthday to Jay? Says Josiah there. Yeah, hopefully, the birthday on Valentine's Day is an interesting one, isn't it? Whereas the sevens tomorrow, says Daryl. So the sevens is taking place in, it is Nairobi in Kenya. Any yellow or red cards yet? Just the one yellow card for Masaki Vothi, which did get him sent off the field earlier on in the contest. But I think he's almost back out there. Happy birthday, says Daryl. And sub-coaches would be who for New Zealand? It's definitely not going to be Tony Brown, which was the one that I think Joseph was hoping for. Hello, Hamish. I'm from South Africa, but I'm a big Blues supporter. But the Highlanders impressed me so much against the Crusaders, but I say Blues by 10. Yeah, see, I still can't get over the fact that the Blues are underdogs in that game up against the Chiefs because it's in Eden Park. And, in terms of the players missing, I would say there's more impact missing for the Chiefs than there is for the Blues in that game. We have there the Crusaders lick it into touch, and the Crusaders are once again your Super Rugby champions. Can you say happy birthday? I'll say happy birthday just without the last bit. We have got there happy Valentine's Day. Says Hobbit in there too. Second half of this one, not a mile away from starting up. And we have got there the laughing face from Knive in there. 1 second, we'll go like that. And we'll go like that. Currently, the FIJIAN Drua, they are $3.60 underdogs for this contest. Now, looking through at what these two sides did in pre-season. That was their most recent games. Highlanders and Moana had a great back-and-forth type of game. FIJIAN DRUA did have a very good win over the Fiji provincial selection team, but they only met once last year, these two sides. And this was the score, 34-15. So Moana, to be fair to them, they've actually gone all right against the FIJIAN DRUA in recent times, although the big thing was that one was away from home for the FIJIAN DRUA, whereas this is in front of the home crowd. They don't often lose when they're away from home. Oh, sorry, when they're at home. You got the Chiefs away. I don't know, to be honest. I think that the Blues actually are in with a really decent shot of getting something going there, but once again, very hard to judge. Super Rugby 30 years, says Hobbit. Where in New Zealand you live, says Knife. So I am in the South Island of New Zealand. So that Crusaders versus Highlanders game, of course, was one that I know a lot of people were excited for. I know there was also a game in Timaru taking place between the Crusaders and the Highlanders developmental teams. At the same location as they had that pre-season game between the Crusaders and the Highlanders only a couple of weeks ago. We have got there, but we got D-Mac. Don't talk too much. There's Anoki. Saw the game. So there's Anoki in there too. New Zealand has its own Australia code. Australia's postcode, I assume that is. I should have not eaten the mouldy cheese. Isn't that blue cheese or was it like different cheese? I've never been one for blue cheese. I've never tried it and I don't think I ever would. Just doesn't seem like my thing. But, ready to go now for the second half. I would say both sides just about to make their way out of the tunnels. Possession at the moment, 54% in favour of the away side, Moana Pasifika, but the territory was in favour of the FIJIAN DRUA, 58%. Got a few signs there. People going for Denzel. I believe that is actually... Who is Denzel? I'm not sure who that is. Now, I thought he was in the Moana Pasifika squad, but I don't think I know of anyone who is called Denzel. D-Mac is not playing. Partner just had their first baby. Yeah, so D-Mac's missing. Wallace Atiti's missing. Leroy Carter's missing in that game. Offload 7 from the FIJIAN DRUA compared to the 2 from Moana Pasifika. I'm trying to work out whether or not this is going to be a high-scoring half 2 or whether it's going to settle down. Surely it's got to settle down at some stage, right, in this game, because both of these sides have been coming out with a lot of speed and aggression throughout that first half. And congrats, D-Mac, says Shane. Right, they're just asking the question of what is going to be coming up now in terms of working on things for the second half from this side. Just talking about the fact that they just haven't had enough possession in the game for the FIJIAN DRUA as well. But if they can start getting some sort of momentum flowing, they will certainly be dangerous. And the DRUA. And that's the thing, they can get back into this game. And out of any side to be down by 16 points at half-time, to trust someone to be able to come back in front of a home crowd, you'd have to say the FIJIAN DRUA is right up there in terms of those numbers. What players won the most individual comp medals possible? Says, I am nutty. No idea, to be honest. Are you talking just Super Rugby or are you talking like in life in general? Was it David Harvili? David Harvili might be up there actually. Because he's had a lot for the Crusaders. And it depends on what level you're counting, though, because he's also had a couple, I believe, for the Tasman Marcos. So, yeah, it depends on whether you're only counting, like, the league level, like, as in, like, Super Rugby level, or you're counting NPCs in there, too. First 15s, under 20 World Cups. But now, second half. About to get underway. We've got a couple of Japanese supporters in the stands by the looks of it. On holiday in Fiji. And probably absolutely loving the heat at the moment. Richie Mo wins everything, says Shane. That is true. He's got to be right up there too. In terms of overall, like, titles and whatnot. That man is having a bit of fun at the moment, wearing a blue wig in the stands. Who do you think is going to win? I think that the lead Moana have should be enough, but you can never guarantee it. But, yeah, we'll wait to find out. So we'll go like that. And we'll go like that. My cut is what? A viewership went, I went you after Rugby Pass plug. Viewership went, wait. Viewership went up, I assume that is, after Rugby Pass plug. My cut is what? It is nothing. Because you've also had people come from this stream go on to the Rugby Pass stream, as you have quoted yourself in the first half. So really you're just kind of switching and changing between the two streams, aren't you? And who do you think? Oh no, I read that one about going to win. And if Fiji can win, sevens, they can come back to win, says Hobbit. Yeah, decent chance. Like I said, you can't underestimate the FIJIAN DRUA in terms of what they can do throughout a second half of rugby. And it's also very hot out there at the moment. We've got to remember the FIJIAN DRUA, they've had some time in Fiji. They played that game up against the Fiji selection team in Fiji as well, so they will be used to this heat. The off-season, they've been in here as well. Just showing the upcoming games. Well, these two sides, will Fijian be within 7.5 at the final? Depends on what they do coming into the second half, to be honest. Like, they're the type of side that can really fire when they get it going. They've had better stats throughout the first half in terms of offloads, line breaks, etc. But at the same time, Moana came out firing at the start of the first half. So if they did that again, then it'd be a hard one to catch up with. Late says Ruby there. Still selling your services for free Rugby Pass. Owes you a steak and cheese. Says Shane. That felt like a long halftime break, though, to be honest. They now make their way back on. If Moana Pasifika win, there's a great start to the season. We'd also have the upset. Yeah, we'd have two upsets in the first round of Super Rugby Pacific. I'm not so sure if I trust Fijian's defence. See, I don't trust Moana's defence that much. There was a stat at one point how they had made 15 tackles, missed 5. So I think both of these sides will concede a lot throughout the second half if the attack is strong. But it's just who's going to score more tries throughout that time. And I really don't know. Should a Super Rugby, I assume that's Argentina, team rejoin Super Rugby? I mean, they've talked about it, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen unless they were based in New Zealand, Australia, or the Pacific Islands. I think it's working at the moment in terms of the time zones for these sides without the travel going to either South Africa or Argentina. So, yeah, I don't see them switching it anytime soon. Did you watch the Zimbabwe versus Australia T20 game, Hamish Wild? I caught moments of it. It was happening during one of the Super Rugby streams we were doing yesterday for a majority of the game. Apparently the FIJIAN DRUA, though, they are in possession inside of their own 22. Being told to use it. Finds Liliawasa kicking this one downfield. Does fine touch. So should I take Moana minus 7.5? That is completely up to you. All I say each and every week when someone asks about the betting side of things, I say you shouldn't bet on Super Rugby because it's too unpredictable. And, like, it's a very big risk. But, yeah, it's completely up to you. All I'll say is gamble responsibly and don't bet anything that you can't afford to lose. Now, Millennium Sanerevi to throw this ball into the line out. Nicely taken by Moana Pasifika at the front. Now moving away to the right-hand side. Strong carry on the halfway line now for Moana Pasifika. Patrick Pellegrini shovels it on to Lani Laumape. There's a man on the outside. It's Miracle Whaialangi. Pace for days. Oh, I thought for a second he was going to jump into touch, but he's managed to score the try. Miracle Whaialangi. He's got the hat trick as well. He's on fire at the moment for Moana Pasifika. That is their captain, ladies and gentlemen. And he has just made quite the statement with that try there. Just keep on going. Yeah, and bet if you bet it before you lose it. Says I am nutty. Adana will not accept defeat from here. Yeah, like this is now Like, with that start to the second half, Moana cannot lose this game, or shouldn't. That's the key. Shouldn't lose this game. But if they did, the coaches would hate what would happen throughout the next about 38 minutes, because it would be a big downfall for Moana. This is huge for Moana Pasifika, by the way. Everyone went, oh, there's no Adi Savia, they're going to be bad. But look at them go at the moment. 33 points to 12. They lost 15 players to different clubs throughout the off-season. And they're still going strong. That one has missed away to the side for Patrick Pellegrini. He'll be gutted about that, seeing as he's been nailing them off the kicking tee so far throughout this matchup. Just saying there about how quick they've been able to get that one going. What site can I watch for free in the USA? Rugby Pass on YouTube apparently does have the option. So I would highly recommend checking that one out. Our ball is there. William Harvey, little shuffle there. Ball is still available. And once again, checking to see how it sits at the moment in terms of odds for this game. And the verdict is, being told to use it once more. Okay, referees told them to exit from that 22. See, this is a pretty one-sided affair, the way that it sits currently. Now, still moving forward. Samuel Vorre. Another chance for him. Patrick Pellegrini. How well earning forwarding YouTube points. Says, I am nutty. Now we have got there, I just had comma for dinner. Did you like, I don't know what that is. I assume that it's something bad, though. I would have to assume. Tanakai Vata. They are playing the penalty advantage for now here. The advantage now once again being played. Finds Liliawasa. How many tries have we had in this game? We've had 7 so far, haven't we? So it's been a high-scoring one. I want another try. Moana up now by 33-12. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. The way that it sits here in this game. It just keeps on going. Second, we'll go like that. And we will go like that as well. There we go. I have now got it up as a mini screen so I can put it off to the side. I'm still going forward here. There is a chance for the Fijian Drua to get this one moving once more. Big driving tackle. Again has been made. Like that and like that. Oh, little grubber attempted in behind here. The Fijian Drua. They may have just scored a try. And they are back in this contest now again. This is a bit of a crazy game, the way that it's sitting at the moment. Both sides just going back and forth. The way that this one's going. Abidjan or not. What another try for Moana, says Josiah. In there too. Yeah, they just keep on scoring, these two sides. Now, Eliza Drua sees. Oh, did he get that down? It looked like he tried to slam it over the try line and maybe got it slightly wrong. But I think he was still in control of the ball. Quiet or instrumental. He had an involvement in that Miracle Whaialangi try that we saw not too long ago. But outside of that, I'd say he's had a relatively quiet day at the office, Nari La Mape. He probably hasn't done as much in this game as he would have liked to, but at the same time, when your side's winning by this margin, like there's not much else that you can say really other than it's going not too bad. Yeah, they're just showing that slam from another angle. It does look like he got it down relatively smoothly. 8 try. Wait. That's Ruasesi's 8th try they've just mentioned there. Kitione Salawa. he's making his way off. I was just trying to find the benches, see who was still to make their way on, and then I realised they're literally next to me. I can see them now. So that's nice and easy. But now possession here for the Fijian Drua. Passes on the outside. Oh, it's just going to be knocked on there. A bit of a mistake made. Maui must be playing. Ronnie Maui, he, I believe, is missing from this game. Or unless you're talking about, I think you're talking about Maui, aren't you, rather than Ronnie Maui. Lamani, going away to the left-hand side. Chance to get this one moving. Kimi Valetini goes to Manasa Mate Ili. 48 minutes through. 33-19. The way that this game sits currently. And South Africa and New Zealand play in T20. A cricket last night or yesterday, I promise to say try before you. Says I'm nutty. Lamani, a lobby pass over the top to Timo Maia-Navanua. Ball is still there. To the right-hand side, Kimi Valetini. Oh, that was a chance to get that one moving. Lamani. Oh, big chopping low tackle. It was a ugly-looking one for Samisi Tupotaeloa. Oh, nice hands from the Fijian Drua. Passing quickly. Is that a deliberate knockdown or is it just a knock-on? They call it as knock-on. But had that been ruled as a deliberate one, that could have been very interesting. In fact, they're checking. No, never mind. They're not checking it. They're going for the subs. Yeah, had he been able to catch that ball, could have been a very different story there. And maybe could have been the potential chance of a penalty try. How are the chicken tenders and eggs going, says Jason. I haven't tried either of them in the air fryer as of yet. Damo Yisada is saying that Moana won't make it far in the season. Now what, 33-12? And Drua is going to score again. Yeah, this game is far from over. There's still 30 minutes left in this game. Which honestly, like, I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, we're either going to see Fiji just go bang, 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 score themselves a few tries and all of a sudden be in a bit of a party zone, or we are going to see control from Moana Pasifika. And maybe they can close out the game. Maybe. But very hard to say. Moana in the lead. They are by a decent margin. And I'm back, says Taiwan. So yeah, it is great to have you back. Now the scrum feed at the moment in favour of the Fijian Drua with Frank Lamani breaking off the back. Iliathana Kaivata. Oh, big Waikato pass attempted by Frank Lamani, but the ball does go into touch. Never count the Drua out till, says Kabbalah. And come on the Drua. What was the poll results? 1 second, I'll have a quick look while we wait for this next reset to take place. Now we'll go here. We'll go here. I'm quite curious because I do think the Fijian Drua would have been the favourites on the poll, which would make sense because they are the side that we're at home. Currently, poll 69% are going for the Fijian Drua. What is your real name, Kiwi lad? You've used it like 4 times, Niv. Is Frank Lamani in? He is. He's out there on the field at the moment for the Fijian Drua. Ready to get this game going. Now, on off to the left-hand side, Jonathan Tamatine. Sounds like there's a lot of communication going on at the moment. Being told to use it again. Jonathan Tamatine, he kicks this one up extremely high. So it comes down there. Nice take from the Fijian Drua. Wait to see what does actually happen here. And here comes Ty and his mum. And there'll be one bring up the tempo for the Fijian Drua. And Silla. I'm back across to the right-hand side. My name is Amish McKiwi Lad. Says, I'm nutty. Now left-hand side moving this one. Oh, that's a bad forward pass there from the Fijian Drua. Hasn't been called though. So it's going to be play on just for now. Ball in the hands of their number 6, Masaki Vote. Now they've realised there was a forward. No, in fact, they found a knock-on instead. So it's all happening in the contest currently. Just saying there, Vakabao will make his way onto the park. Make his debut for this Fijian Drua. So they've actually got quite a few changes across this team. Drua will win for sure. They have a chance. They're only down by 14 points. And again, if there was any side that were going to be down by 14 to be able to make a comeback in a game like this, it would be the Fijian Drua. But we'll have to wait to see. Also, Stephen in there from Nive as well. It looks like change handling year is what we got. We got 6 and 6 for these sides at the moment. So it's actually been relatively even in terms of the handling stats. But whether or not that is the case at the end, of course, we could see one side really find their rhythm later on. Right, that ball is not being fed into the scrum. Referee's just saying, look, we've got new boys out there on the field. Let's try and get something going here. Now Moana Pasifika. I think they're quite excited about the upcoming games. Definitely that Blues versus Chiefs matchup. And I think everyone is, to be fair, because that game should be absolutely incredible. I mean, one of those contests that can easily go either way for the teams. Such dangerous attacking sides, which pretty much can be the case throughout this whole Super Rugby Pacific competition. And Tosa Moana Pasifika says Ramzanali. And we have got the Rugby Pass viewership is on par with you. And also, what did you think of Zimbabwe versus Australia T20 game? Was it AI, says Ruby? It was not. It was just a brilliant performance from a side that seemed just that little bit more hungry. In the case of Zimbabwe, they just really took advantage of those early wickets. They managed to get free kick awarded to the Fijian Drua now. It's not what the Fijian Drua would have wanted. Now a chance to be able to kick this one down towards the sideline. I keep on looking up Super Rugby stats. I keep on getting on a tangent of different games. But this one, these two sides have had some brilliant close battles. This one, it looks like it's going to be shaping up to be pretty much the same. Patrick Pellegrini, he's been in control in their number 10 jersey throughout this game. It's a 50-50. And come on, Drua, play the Fijian Flyer. See his best, though. And toss a Moana Pasifika. Now 26 minutes left. Last 5 penalties, we've seen 4 of which go against the Fijian Drua. A line out for Moana. They are currently sitting about 45 metres out from the Fijian Drua line. I would say one more try here, and that's probably the game in favour of the Fijian Drua. In favour of Moana. But one more try for Fijian Drua, and it gets very interesting. Going to see Peter Aki playing level. And the Chiefs Blues, says Shane. Yeah, he'll be intriguing to see what he can do in that midfield, because I know they haven't got Rico Ioane this year. So we'll see whether or not it does help having Aki, that number 12 jersey. I think AJ Lamb's playing 13, isn't he? Another knock on here, this time from Moana Pasifika, so they have one more to their tally. Just joined how's Lamape played. Honestly, pretty quiet throughout this matchup. He hasn't done a huge amount out there on the field, but at the same time, like, he hasn't really had to. He had a try assist or an assist of an assist in terms of something that happened earlier on in the game. That was the Miracle Whailangi's 7th try of the game, and his 3rd, the hat-trick for Whailangi. Now, going to be another chance here. second. We'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. All balls fed in for Frank Lamani. Kicks this one downfield, Rabitu. Nicely taken by William Oh, no, that's not good. William Havili, he's had leg issues in terms of injury, and he just really hurt himself there. He was chasing after it. He's limping badly. He does not look happy at the moment for William Havili. Yeah, this doesn't look good for William Havili now, but it looks like he's going to continue. This is going to... No, he shouldn't have done that. He just tried to kick the ball downfield and really hurt himself even more. What happened was he took a mark, he called for it, he was running, he was fine, and then all of a sudden, a little snap or something happened for William Havili, and he was not happy one bit. And then from there, decided he would try and boot it downfield. And it was not ideal for William Havili. What is that hairline trim, Kyo? Says Josiah. I don't know whether you're talking to me or whether you're talking to someone in the chat again. But now going off to the left-hand side. Chance here for the Fijian draw. They're 22 metres out from the line at the moment. This is a very good chance to get back into the match just that little bit more. Ball's going to be dropped backwards. I'll pass across William Havili. Kicking this one downfield. And it's gone into touch. A very good kick for a man who just had one leg. Not literally. He still has two, but one of them's not working at the moment for William Havili. He can hardly even walk. I don't know why they haven't decided to take him off the field here. Just seems like such a risk in this scenario. I heard Ruben Love is injured. Yeah, by the sounds of it, ankle injury, isn't it? Which is not good news for him. Now going off to the left-hand side. Glenn Vaihu hits the ball up. As Hamish dyeing his beard like Peacemaker says, I am nutty. No. What colour should I dye it if I did though? I feel like I could dye it blue. I feel like people would enjoy that. Oja Barber Hamish says, Knife. Well, the last time I visited my barber before the last time, well, so the second last time, she actually had to give me a buzz cut as a forfeit for the channel. And she actually still remembered me the next time I went. And was hoping that I was going to get a buzz cut or be bald this time, but no, not quite. But she did also suggest a different type of hairstyle that I should do in the relatively near future as a forfeit. Yes, sir, who's the backup 10 and 15 for the Canes? So they've got Godfrey, they've got Brett Cameron. They do have Brett Cameron, don't they, at the moment? And then there's also, I think they've used... Oh, what's his name? Riley Hohepa? I think they've used him before. I got good hair, Hamish. Says Josiah. Hair is more brownish versus the beard. I didn't realise there were so many punts in rugby, says Tungsten. Yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth in terms of the kicking battle between these two sides, but currently 21 minutes left. This one's going to be kicked high. Now bumping off two for Manasa Mataeli. Going, oh, that was down the short side, and he's taken a very hard collision there. Now looking to pass it away to the left-hand side. All bouncing awkwardly. Now Drua Sesi pops it back up. Ball's still there. Lamani. Now it was Asoa Tuai. Coverage is starting to get a little bit glitchy again, but there is the penalty advantage in favour of the FIJIAN DRUA. Tuisaeva nickname should be Roid Monster. So AI bot confirmed due to mismatching hair colour. And as Hardy playing, he can F off overseas. He ain't no fella, says Stasi. There you what? It's another try for the FIJIAN DRUA. We'll come back to Hardy Savia in a moment, but that is a brilliant try down the wing. I think that it might have been, I want to say it was Joe Tamani who's managed to score that one off of the bench. I could be wrong, though. Actually, I think I really am. Who is it? It is Izakeli Rabitu who has managed to score that one. But no, Savia isn't even playing for Moana Pasifika this year. He's over in Japan at the moment. So you're saying he can F off overseas? He already has. He's taken the $1 million contract for Japanese top league. I'd pay money to see you with a mullet and a mustache by the time the Rugby World Cup 2027 comes around, says Ruby. Uh-oh. They want to find a potential forward pass here, by the sounds of it. They're just saying that it did look forward. That's Cale walking downtown in any New Zealand city. And good morning, Hamish in chat says, hey, no, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that is a full pass, unfortunately, for the FIJIAN DRUA. So I believe they will go back and call this a no try. Sweet wants to cry, bro. Was that even a thing for me? I want to be captain, play the game, bro. Says Stasi. And forward as says, oh, yeah, it did go forward out of their hands. So it will be no try. Fashion goes to die in New Zealand slowly after Oz. Says, I'm nutty. And how are the new signed players from both sides doing? Their team for the first game. Who's got your eye on? It's a tricky one, really. I feel like Moana, the guys who are standing up so far are the guys who have already been there. Like Ngāti Mape, he's once again done all right throughout this game, but hasn't done anything absolutely crazy. I think that Virimi Pakatava, I'll be honest, that was the battle that I was looking forward to seeing, the battle with the 12s. We've hardly been able to see those two go face-to-face throughout this matchup. Who else has gone all right? I feel like it's a lot of the same guys who do well in terms of the guys who were doing all right last year. Miracle Whailangi got a hat-trick in this game. Samisi Tupotaialoa also scored himself a try. How's the game been so far? It's been decent. I feel like the second half's dragged a little bit just because both sides are making a few crucial errors to stop them from being able to score. Didn't Artie play for Moana? He did, but he's on a sabbatical at the moment. So, yeah, he's over in Japan playing at this current point in time. Now, they're just showing the next three matches. In fact, we can do that, except we don't have the next three matches. We have the next two matches for these two sides. The Waratahs, they play the FIJIAN DRUA next Friday, and then Saturday they will be going head-to-head up against the Hurricanes. Now, I will mention that it's Saturday the week after, not Saturday the next day, or else that would be a pretty brutal type of schedule that they have to withhold or uphold. That word sounds like it. Hurricanes versus Moana Pasifika. That is the game that is taking place next week. So the Hurricanes have got a couple very physical matches just around the corner. They have not played a game as of yet, and they won't be for round one of the Super Rugby Pacific competition. Due to the 11 teams, it means the Canes have the bye. So we'll wait to see what happens in that regard. But then the week after that, the Hurricanes are going to be, of course, playing the Drua, whereas Moana, they are going head-to-head up against the Western Force just to close out February on a high. Hamish, can I let it rip in your face? You cannot, Knife. I'm sure you can find somewhere else to let it rip rather than my head. And we have got there. Who are you going for? I just hope it's close, to be honest. And at the moment, it is 14 points difference. My original score prediction was Fiji by 15, or FIJIAN DRUA by the 15 points. I'm quite wrong in that department. It looks like Moana Pasifika, to be fair to them, they have a decent record up against the Fijians. They've won 2 of the last 3 games, although I believe those were both home games for Moana Pasifika. Do you think the Springboks will win 3 cups in a row? They've got a very decent chance of doing so with how they're going. Speaking of going, that's Aaron Mange, isn't it? In the stands, he looks like he's going all right. How do other Pacific Island nations compare or players earn recognition? Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, they don't. It's pretty much plain and simple at the moment. They probably, like every once in a while, I think they do send scouts out to those regions, but it does often, the most that Moana had was like a couple players from the Cook Islands at one point. But I don't think we're seeing too many other players other than Tonga and Samoa at this stage. So I guess the best way to do it is if you're a PNG or a Vanuatu player, you got to play NPC in New Zealand. That gets you your best chance of getting on the map, getting on the radar of these sides, and maybe having one of the selectors stick a contract in your direction. And Drua got some tough games there, says Heino. Yeah, not an easy run for the FIJIAN DRUA, and not an easy start to this game either, to be fair to them. They conceded 3 tries early on in the contest. Do the All Blacks have a coach yet? It seems there are still issues. Any inside info? Jamie Joseph going to be announced next week by the sounds of it. He's all but, I think it's already been done and dusted that he is signed. But they're going to do the official announcement next week. Unless, of course, they're just throwing a curveball to confuse everyone. But now, that one's going to be kicked downfield from Moana Pasifika once more. You see there now, Samoa makes his way onto the field for Moana Pasifika. That is Denzel. So that is where the Denzel came from. I mentioned earlier on how someone had the sign saying goes Denzel, and I couldn't work out where Denzel was. Suali'i, still a 13. How many more average games does he have to play there? Yeah, see, he'd be all right at fullback, wouldn't he, for the Tars? In fact, he'd be much better at fullback than he... I don't know, he's not having his best run, Suali'i, and I feel like, Jorgensen at the moment is just the back who's on fire for that side. Who'd they even play at 15? It was that young guy who I hadn't even heard of, Hendren or whoever it was, wasn't it? And how's this game been has this game been better than the Landers game? I'd say not yet, but has potential to be. Because if the FIJIAN DRUA score again, this one could go right down to the wire, but currently we're just in that waiting kind of period. We're just waiting to find out, is it going to be all of a sudden a big hiss and a roar coming? Going off to the right-hand side now, kick downfield. Nicely taken inside of the 22. Kiwi Sir, does your YouTube have a Discord server? If you don't, would you like me to make one? We have got a Kiwi Lads Discord. We don't really use it a huge amount, other than what I do is I post on there each week and each weekend, each day, what we've got coming up, so you guys know. But that's the link to the Discord server for anyone who does want to join it. Thought Joey Walton was very good. Last night, though, he should be a Wallaby Smoky. I like the look of Lawson Crichton under that high ball. He was doing phenomenally in that 10 jersey, I felt. He didn't do much outside of that, although, to be fair to him, kicking everything over, I was impressive. But now, run forward from the FIJIAN DRUA. 5 metres out from the line. Frank Lamani going with the short pop pass into the hands of Samu Vordre. That's close to being over the line, and they get it down the FIJIAN DRUA. Between the posts, this game has just heated up that little bit more. And it's going to get very interesting to see what happens from here. And Sweet says tie in there. And Pacifica looking sharp, though. I'm going to the NRL All-Star games tomorrow. Yeah, they'll be interesting to see how they go. I would have liked to do those games, but I just don't think that time zone-wise they're going to work out for myself. But I do want to do some NRL this year. I feel like that's something that we were lacking last year, definitely because of how much I enjoyed doing those Pacific Nations Cup games. Even though Pacific Championship games. Disco is evil now. Discord is evil now. No more privacy. What do you mean? I honestly don't know how to use it, other than I just put it there, in the links for the streams. What's the score as of right now? At the moment, the score is 33-26. It's a 7-point game between these two sides now. How much for Pinky Hamish? Too much. I'll tell you that right now. And one is league and one is union, says Sush. You don't need to suffer. Watch NRL League isn't it? We all know it, says Xavier. Yeah, see, if I did League, I think it would mainly be Warriors games. Just because I don't have that rugby league knowledge that I'd like to have. I enjoyed learning throughout the Pacific Championships. But, yeah, in terms of just, who's at which club and what the go is and everything, I have no idea. But then that's kind of fun, because you guys normally do teach me. Some of you try and teach me the wrong things, make me look like an idiot, but I've gotten used to that. Where did you hear about Jamie Joseph being the coach? See, he's Invincibles. It was leaked on, I think it was Myth Rugby's Facebook, I want to say. I could be wrong. They may have taken it down by now. I'll have a quick look. What we got? But yeah, I did see it pop up. Jamie Joseph to become new All Blacks coach. Here we go. Official announcement expected next week. Is what it's got there. I don't know if that was because of the fact that he won that game. Maybe they're just spreading fake news. To be fair, that is what Facebook's for. Or at least you think it was. We have their Fiji are genetically up there in the world. That's why they are one of the best in sevens. I think New Zealand still has the most titles in both men and women, but Fiji are greatness. Yeah, that Fiji men's side is absolutely incredible. We have there, do you actually like league? Like, will you watch NRL off stream? I do normally watch the games, but the problem I have is I watch the games on like Wednesday by the time that I've caught up with everything that I have to watch rugby union related. So like I'll watch the games way after they're like a relevant topic. So then I won't talk about the games because it's like it's weird to talk about the games from last weekend the next weekend when we don't even cover league, if that makes sense. But like I'll watch the occasional like midweek game that happened on the weekend. But yeah, I'm still useless when it comes to watching all of the games that are around. I just unfortunately never find time to be able to do that. But then streaming them would give me an excuse to get to watch them. So that might be a little bit of the reasoning behind it. But yeah, I'm definitely watching all of that Rugby League World Cup. I can guarantee you that. Just because I'm a little bit hooked from what we watched on the Pacific Championships. Your Discord name, that's the one, yep. Do you like watermelon and chicken together or separate? What are we talking? Where can I watch Blues vs Chiefs tonight without Sky? Without Sky is a difficult one. Although this game was being shown in the US on Rugby Pass's YouTube channel. Do you think Fiji will steal the win? It's close enough that they have potential. It's currently 67 minutes through. And penalty awarded in favour of Moana Pasifika. I played with three guys who played for Oz in the NRL, says I am nutty. And George just needs some positive vibes to get their natural way of playing back, says Luke. You see, if they get some really nice, like, they can get something going. This side. Okay, one of the Fijian Drua players is just having a conversation with the referee. He just wanted some clarity. And the referee pretty much got him and said, look, you were yelling at me. I don't like when you yell at me. I do think Samoa Rugby League, if they play union, would be a threat. Probably, to be fair. Like, imagine a Samoan rugby union team with the guys that they've got at the moment in terms of those upcoming talents, thrown in there with someone like a Brian To'o out on the wing, or having like those big forwards as a potential option, would be absolutely insane. Would it ever happen? Probably not. We got there at the pub. Says Solonu and death. You got death threat at the pub. Sounds like a dangerous pub. Whereabouts is the pub? And mean draw, eh? Says Hobbit. Now waters have been called off the field. They are dealing with some extreme heat at the moment out there. Did you see Payne Haas contract has an R360 get out clause? Surely it's not going to happen R360. I think it's happening in 2027 or 28. I think 2028, in fact, is when they're going to try and relaunch, because they've pretty much said, nah, we got our timing wrong because people weren't going to leave just before a World Cup, but they're going to do it straight after. And I think they'll get a few signees on those contracts. And why did New Zealand Rugby drop Razor? I haven't been keeping up with the politics. Was the win rate not good enough? I mean, he had 74% win rate during his All Blacks tenure, which is actually pretty decent. But there's a bit of stuff behind the scenes by the sounds of it. Do you like women's rugby? We cover women's rugby on the channel, and I do thoroughly enjoy watching it. That last Women's World Cup was absolutely incredible. It was just such a shame that the final took place at the same time as South Africa versus England in the Rugby Championship, so we could only cover one or the other. Do you like Ruby Tui's dad? I've never met him, and I don't actually know who he is. Other than I would know now that you've said it's Ruby Tui's dad, so I'd assume that he's her dad. Now, carrying this one forward for Lalomelo. He's another guy that we've hardly said the name of throughout this contest. And there is going to be the penalty awarded to Moana Pasifika. 11 minutes remaining now. Tackler's in the way. However, the new coach might make the All Blacks win rate 100%. Says, what's up, guys, live? And what happens if he loses his first game? Do they sack him? Or do they keep him there? Turn your camera at the screen so we can watch the game. Sadly, that would be illegal and would get me in a lot of trouble. I'd probably get sued. And I don't want to get sued because then I might have to go to jail. And then if I go to court as well, I'm terrible under pressure. So I would end up guilty. I know Match Stream, yes, there's Sash. And question, are you doing the Pacific 4 in April? Maybe some of it. Depends a little bit on the overlaps. I haven't actually written it into the schedule as of yet. Looks like Patrick Pellegrini is going to be going for the 3 points here. And this would give Moana Pasifika a lead of more than 7. It's New Zealand jail, so not much. Yeah, I'll probably get a slap on the wrist and maybe 1 day detention. Now Pellegrini. Ready to line this one up. He's had a good day off the kicking tee. He's only missed 1. That one, though, he has missed 2, as it just narrowly is wide of the right-hand post. Our prediction in the last 10 minutes. I think with that kick missing, this is now getting very intriguing for the final 10. Because it means that if the Fijian Drua score and convert, we go to golden point time. Which is quite exciting. We do hopefully have a couple golden point games on the cards for this season. Just you can grow out a mullet in prison. Be back at just in time for the Rugby World Cup. There's Ruby. Now pass across to the right. That's a terrible pass there. The ref's just given a knock on. The ball's hit straight off the player's foot. Didn't get it. That's a terrible call from the referee, but he should have saved himself and said it was accidental offside. Because that was not a knock on whatsoever. That came straight off the Moana Pasifika player's foot. And its hands were nowhere near it. So that is a huge call by this referee. That is an awful one. It's quite interesting, that one. Is it raining? Yeah, it is. It's raining at the moment outside. I could hear something landing on the roof. And I was thinking, well, it's either a bird that's really persistent or it's possibly a bit of rain. Confusion on your face right there was amazing. I couldn't believe that they didn't think about... Like, I can't believe that everyone missed it. As the referee, Nick Berry. It is not Nick Berry. I'm not actually sure who it is. We'll have a quick look, but we won't call them out too much. It's raining here too, Hamish, says Kiwi Rob. Oh, you're in Auckland, right, Kiwi Rob? So that means we're going to have rain for that Eden Park matchup by the sounds of it. I'm behind you, Hamish, says Josiah. We'll check if it's raining heavy or not. Because I'd like to know, but I can't quite see around the green screen far enough. I can only see out the corner. Referee in charge of this one is Marcus Plale. And that ref call is outrageous. It was actually a terrible call, to be fair. But mistakes happen every once in a while. The question is, will they be able to make the most of that error from the referee here? The Fijian Drua in possession. Manasa Mataeli passed on the outside to the left-hand side through the hands of Eliza Drua Sisi. Didn't see a lot of Ponepate Loganamasi throughout this game. I know middle of the North Island. Is it raining in Auckland, Kiwi Rob? I know you're normally pretty good at going on the Google AI and working out weather and whatnot. And Drua catching a break, although now the penalty is awarded for Moana Pasifika. That is for holding on. It looks like Tom Savage is down in back play with the injury now. Mostly cloudy, fine spells increasing. Southwesterlies. Strong at times, issued 3:58 p.m. and no rain at 7 p.m. in Auckland, says Invincibles. Okay, so that is good news. What is not good news is Tom Savage is down at the moment here for Moana Pasifika. It could be a draw, Uncle. It could have potential of going to a draw, which would then take us to bonus point. Is that hairline outrageous? Says Knife. And there, yes, it's not the best, but it's also, like, it could be worse. I think I might go back to a buzz cut at some stage, to be fair. Just to go back to it. It was all right, and it also meant that I didn't have to deal with, like, hat hair, which is quite annoying. You have Arctic Storm Breeze. Now 7 minutes left. This one's actually going to go relatively close to the start of the next game, Blues versus Chiefs, which we will be covering on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Moana Pasifika have got this for sure. Fiji. Just keep giving away penalties. Yeah, it seems to me every time they get themselves just a little bit closer, they end up having a little bit of trouble at one little moment. It's overcast at the moment, according to the webcam, says Kiwi Rob. And, sir, what would happen if they draw? If they draw, it goes to golden point. And then pretty much we've got potential of 20 more minutes of rugby being played between these two sides. which I don't think either of these sides would want because of how hot it is out there on the field. But Moana Pasifika, they have got themselves the possession again. 7 minutes now remaining in this match. They've lost the footing. The breakdown there, the FIJIAN DRUA, they want that one big steal that could potentially change this game. I guess it's raining in... Is it raining in Auckland now? Kiwi Rob. I know that someone said it wasn't supposed to rain at 7, but... Oh, big hit on Alan Craig. It looked a little bit high too, to be fair, but they'll go back now for the rain. So no penalties, says Taiwan. So no penalties. What did I say beforehand? Oh, now it's raining heavy. Oh no, that's because the door was open. That's why it sounded so heavy. I was confused for a second. Is it raining heavy? Real heavy? No. Dampening? Dampening, not good. It's always raining in Auckland. It says, the extra time. Yeah, so they do have the potential of going for 10 minutes first half, 10 minutes second half, and it's golden point. So whoever scores the first point wins the game from there. And go the draw. So I should say that's 20 minutes possible extra time, but not necessary, because if anyone scores before that, then the game's over. Now the ball's going to be fed in. And that's a penalty now to Moana Pasifika. This is a kickable 3 again. It's a bit cloudy in South Africa, but rain is on the way. Oh, sorry, but rain is on the way. Now 5.5 minutes remaining. And if nothing happens there, no points scored. Then if no points are scored in extra time, we then go to the draw. Which means that everyone shares the points. We have the open door policy, says Sash. Yeah, I did know the person who came in the house, I should mention. Rather than just someone random walking in and me going, oh, well, I'm streaming, so I'll just leave them to it. I checked, I saw no rain. We have got their OIC, says Taiwan. Now, rolling this one forward again here. Moana Pasifika. We've got to remember, at the moment, the FIJIAN DRUA are in a position where they do get a bonus point from this game for being within 7. Now, a try here would take that away. They're moving forward. It's a knock-on from Moana Pasifika, and the FIJIAN DRUA, 5 metres out from their line, have another chance to get that ball going downfield. Classic Drua, says Sasha. They love making it an edge-of-the-seat kind of encounter. And they take to the field. And the woo, says the Hobbit there. And now 5 metres out from their line. They have to go 95 metres here and get the conversion. They've missed 1 today for the FIJIAN DRUA. Handling errors 10 from the FIJIAN DRUA, 9 from Moana Pasifika now with that one added. Economics dictated due to hosting history. I don't know what you're on about, Neve, at the moment. Can I also know how to actually pronounce your name? Is it Nive or Neve or Neve? Like, I feel like I've said it differently quite a few times. And I feel bad about not being able to get it right. So do let me know, like in a serious note, how to actually say it. Oh, another knock on from the FIJIAN DRUA. Offload back there, Tavita Offa. Only 10 metres out from the line. He had his face sat on by Eliza Drua Sisi. 7 metres out from the line. Come on, Fiji, extra time. Yeah, Hamish should have a match clock, says Sash. So at the moment, we are currently 77 minutes through. I've just had it updated. How long to go? We've got 3 minutes left. Pick and go there. And it will be the try. And by the looks of it, it's the number 19. Will be Tuata Valu, I believe. It's pronounced as Navy, or Navy. And if Fiji scored, they did not. Moana Pasifika scored. And this guy's in 30 minutes till 7-2 gets underway. Says Kiwi Rob. Yeah, only sitting about 35 minutes away from the next game of Super Rugby getting underway. That is going to be almost Moana Pasifika, but no. The Blues versus the Chiefs. And it seems like big time the Samoan crowd who have made the trip over. I saw a couple Samoan flags there. They are very happy with what they are seeing out there on the park. And that's game, says Tim. And now it's the question, can the Fijian Drua still bring it back to get themselves a bonus point from this game? That one has gone over. Would New Zealand Warriors, or would New Zealand rather would New Zealand rather Warriors win the NRL or ABs win the next World Cup? A lot of people would probably say the All Blacks win the World Cup, but a lot of people also keep on saying it's the Wars year. Can you check Rugby Pass for me? Says I am nutty. I probably can. 1 second. How do I get there? Go here. Hello, Kiwi sir. How can I grow a beard? I would not ask me because my beard does not look like a beard. It just kind of looks like George says that I have Can I say what George says? Yeah. He says I look like I've got pubes on my face. And he's probably right. You know, it's not a beard per se. It's pretty patchy on the sides. I'm trying to grow it, but it doesn't quite work. And Tana for president of Pacifica. And Moana missed the kick. They did get it over. Yeah, 40 points to 26 at the moment, the way that it sits. And now, currently 45 seconds remaining in this fixture. It looks like you forgot to shave like me. Says Kiwi Rob. Don't cry, Hamish. I feel sorry for you. Says Mohadeen. And Blues Chiefs is listed. Oh, is it? So Rugby Pass is actually going to maybe show those games overseas. That's actually a massive bonus for anyone who's got a VPN. Does George have an off switch? Or is he just running with ADHD? He doesn't have a filter, is the best way of describing it. Like, if he has something in his head, he'll say it. But most of the time, it's not terrible. Sometimes it is. Like, that's why normally we have videos with a lot of censoring when George is involved. Streams are a little bit the same, although you guys have got used to him by now. But now that's a siren here. You're going to pop it back into the pocket here. Moana Pasifika, they kick the ball into touch. And that is the end of the game. A big win for Moana in Fiji. In fact, I wouldn't just call it a big win. It's a massive win for this Moana Pasifika side. They have stood up in this match. They have got the job done. And now they have an opportunity to sit close to the top of the table. I believe they will be second, the way that it sits currently. We'll wait to see what happens next in this weekend of Super Rugby. The next game is going to be the Blues in their match up against the Chiefs. So we are going to be live for that game starting in only about 12 minutes time, I believe. We are starting that stream. So anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. But I thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.